What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DJI Osmo Mobile and putting it to the test using 3 separate apps to see which one will give us the smoothest video as well as the most features. Just as a reference, we are going to be using the iPhone 7 Plus as the camera that we fit inside of the Osmo Mobile. The 3 apps that we will be testing out today are the regular iOS camera app, the DJI Go app, as well as the Filmic Pro app. Now let's go over a few pros and cons of each of these. First up, let's talk about the stock iOS camera app. On the screen, in white will be my pros, and in red will be the cons. Now, the first pro that I have is that you will get a stock Apple experience. Many people buy an iPhone just so that they can use iOS, as it is very beginner friendly and very easy to navigate. The next pro that I have is that the clips will save right to your camera roll. This makes it a lot easier to get off of the phone and onto the computer for some editing. Moving on to the cons of the stock iOS camera app, you get little camera control as well as no Osmo compatibility. Moving on, we have the DJI Go app, which is built just for the Osmo as well as plenty of other products made by DJI. With that being said, the first pro is that we get full Osmo compatibility. Basically, we can tweak all the settings and take advantage of a lot of the features such as active track that the Osmo comes with. On top of that, we also have a built-in editor which lets us cut clips on the fly if we need to. Moving on to the cons of the DJI Go app, our first con is the jittering while moving, and you may know what I mean if you have an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus. It seems that the software really isn't compatible with the image stabilization, but this is a problem that I'm going to get to in just a couple of minutes. Next up on our list of cons, we have very little functionality, and basically what I mean by this is I think that DJI hasn't really made an effort to improve this app. I haven't seen an Osmo Mobile update in a while. The only one I've seen recently is the Beautify mode, and honestly, in my opinion, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more functionality such as advanced settings and gimbal control. And finally, with the last con of the DJI Go app, there's no way to save the clips right to your camera roll. Instead, they save to the app, and from there you need to individually save which clips you want to the camera roll. And I know that you can use the iTunes file sharing system, but again, I would love the ability to save it directly to my camera roll. And now finally moving on to our last app is Filmic Pro. Now on paper, I think that this is probably the best one, but this one does unfortunately cost $9.99 on the App Store. Now as far as the pros are concerned, I originally had 2 separate points, but I think I'm going to merge them into one. The first one was full menu control, and the second was many advanced settings. And basically, again, both of these can really count as one point. This app has so many different settings that you can choose from. You can change the ISO, the shutter speed, the frames per second, whether you want to shoot at 26, 28, 30, you can choose anything you want, and from there you can even choose your different resolutions such as 4K, 3K, 2K, really anything, you name it. Now, although I would love to sit here and go over each of the different settings in the Filmic Pro app, you're just going to have to take my word for it, as I could sit here forever discussing each individual section. This is going to be saved for a separate video when I have more time. Moving on to our next point, as you can see, this is half white and half red. Basically, this is both a good and bad thing, as we do get some Osmo compatibility, but it's not everything that I would hope for. For example, we get to use the buttons on the handle with this app in order to start recording, as well as switch which camera we want to record from, but we still don't get the same exact settings list that we do in the DJI Go app. And finally, moving on to the only con of this application, it's basically that you have to pay to use it. Now, as I said, it does cost $9.99 in order to download it, but honestly, that is a steal for the amount of functionality that you get within this app. Once you make your first movie or start shooting with this thing, you're going to be glad you spent the money. Now, before we get into any test footage, I figured I'd go over some of the problems that I'm having with the Osmo Mobile. To start things off, with the iPhone 7 Plus as well as the iPhone 7, the Osmo Mobile is almost unusable. Now, for me, I like to get the smoothest and steadiest shots possible, and it seems that with these new phones, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus in particular, you get a jittering motion whenever you try to record. Now, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what's wrong with this combination of the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus with the Osmo Mobile. A lot of people are pointing towards the optic image stabilization that's located in the iPhone itself, but after doing some digging around some forums, I think that a lot of people are wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very viable solution. A lot of people do believe that the optic image stabilization inside of the iPhone is fighting or really trying to overcome the stabilization inside of the Osmo Mobile, therefore making it a little shaky and jittering. But after doing some of my tests, I've realized that that's not the case. And the last thing that I do want to mention is that although this footage does look good and is a lot more smooth than if I were to be holding with my hand, there is something annoying about looking at this and just seeing the shaking back and forth. So now that all of that has been said, we're going to move on to some test footage. In total, I have 8 clips for you. The first 4 will be handheld, and the next 4 will be with the Osmo Mobile. On the screen, I will clearly identify whether the clip is being handheld or using the Osmo Mobile, and I'll also tell you which app that I'm using, as well as if the optic image stabilization is turned on or off while using the Filmic Pro app. Again, all these clips will be shot with the iPhone 7 Plus, shot at a resolution of 4K and a frame rate of 30. After we're finished taking a look at the test footage, I'll do a little conclusion for you guys, let you know what I think of each of the different apps as well as the footage that has come from them, and I'll give you guys my opinion on which is the best app to use. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so now that we're finished with the test footage portion of the video, let's move into the conclusion where we're going to take a look at some of the different footage side by side. Now the first thing that I want to do is back up my claim saying that the optic image stabilization is not the reason that the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus is having a problem when using the DJI Osmo Mobile. As you can see by the test footage on the screen, on the left I have the DJI Go App, and on the right the Filmic Pro App with the optic image stabilization turned off. And as you can see, they look just about the same. Now if we do one more comparison using the handheld footage, on the left being the DJI Go app and on the right being the stock iOS camera app, we can see that the optic image stabilization is in fact turned off when using the DJI Go app by default. Therefore, this is not something that we have to worry about, and again, can't be the root of the problem when using the iPhone 7 Plus. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the DJI Go app automatically turns off the optic image stabilization. There's no need for a button to turn it on and off, it's simply turned off. Therefore, this really can't be the reason as to why the iPhone 7 Plus doesn't really work all that well with the Osmo Mobile. Now finally, just to get to the point, I would have to say that the best combination to use with the Osmo Mobile is the Filmic Pro app with the optic image stabilization turned on. I feel that this gives you some of the best results, and although there is some slight jittering, I would have to say that it's not as drastic when using the DJI Go app or the Filmic Pro app with the optic image stabilization turned off. Now before I end this video, I want to show you guys 2 more comparisons just to solidify my point and show you guys that the Filmic Pro app is definitely the best app to use when filming with the Osmo Mobile. I also want to show you guys just how good the footage looks compared to some other footage from different apps so that you can justify spending $10. So that about wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely leave a like if you liked, and subscribe if you're new around here, as I have been trying to upload daily. Along with those 2 things, definitely leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think of the Filmic Pro app if you already have it, and if you don't have it, let me know if you plan to download it. But anyway, that's about it, and as always, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.